Chapter 15, Steven and the 10 Speeds. Steven and the group arrived at Ramp City where they witnessed Campbell riding his bike on one of the ramps. Upon witnessing Campbell's skills, Steven remembered his time riding his bike when he met Connie for the first time, but he was riding on sand, on the beach and not in the forest, or creek in this case. When you said something about gem powers, what kind of powers do you mean? Alma wondered. I can turn into a 14-year-old, mainly the same size as you are, Steven answered. Do you have that power the other way around? Yes, but it hurts. I've turned into a baby after holding it for too long. It really shows that growing tall needs more time, JP commented. When Steven looked at Campbell again, his bike was smaller than his old bike. Even if he didn't bring along his bike after leaving Beach City, he may be able to borrow his or his friend's bikes for permission. After Campbell went past the finish line, he stopped right away with his group 10 Speeds walking up to him with their leader. Awesome, Bob smiled while looking at the timer on her phone. You're almost close to breaking your records from last time. Just a couple of seconds behind, Warp Speed added. Campbell smiled as he got off his bike. He didn't need to try hard like last time, but he couldn't keep his mind off of what happened last night. Hey, Alma called to the attention of 10 Speeds. Oh, Campbell took notice of Steven. He made his way out of the ramp track once Craig's group walked up to them. You're that guy from last night. Was he that guy you mentioned earlier? Todd replied. He didn't look like anything I've had in mind, Warp Speed commented. When Bob put away her phone, she went with the group to witness the person who was in the storm from last night, and that creature who fought him. I can't say he's that bad, but the whole shields thing appearing from thin air, I'm not buying it, she spoke. You know, just because you didn't see what happened last night doesn't mean it didn't happen, Steven took it well. That's true, Campbell agreed. This is Steven, Craig introduced his new friend to 10 Speeds. He wants to get to know the creek and he's gonna stay for a while. He wants to check out Ramp City. Huh, a newcomer and a tourist, Bob smiled. Well, I'm not buying about his shield, but for a tourist, we should give him a first try. Extreme stunts? Steven wondered. And dangerous ones at that, Kelsey added. We do a lot of stunts at Ramp City, War Speed filled in as he pointed at the course. There was a lot of ramps to perform stunts, each bigger than the last. As Steven and the group looked at the course itself, Steven found it impressive. You all do a lot of stunts. I've seen Bike Olympics during my travels. But do they do stunts if they have ramps? Bob added. No, her and 10 Speed said. Then again, the Olympics forbid extreme stunts and ramps, Steven awkwardly giggled. Where's your bike? Bob asked. Sorry, but I don't have a bike. Not to mention that he's too big enough to ride any of your bikes, Alma added. This gave Campbell an idea for what he can do for Steven. However, he had to remind Steven that there's a setback. You all wait here, I'll be right back. He went back to his bike to head back to his house to get something for Steven. While the two groups wait for Campbell, Bob keeps her attention on Steven himself. She looked straight at Steven's shirt after what Campbell mentioned about his gem. Can you show me your gem? Yeah, we want to see it, War Speed added. Okay, Steven replied. Then again, people are gonna ask me for that. We just started to get used to it, JP said. Steven lifted his shirt up slightly to show 10 Speeds his gem. They looked closely at it, but it still didn't convince Bob. I found it hard to believe this gem would be magical. It feels like it's shoved in there because you have a big belly button, Todd commented. There are so many things you don't know about me, Steven replied. Granted, I don't blame you for not believing it, but though is always more than what meets the eye. Trust me, it will change your mind forever, Craig added. It changed my mind. Yeah, Steven giggled while letting go of his shot. I've changed a lot of minds, but it had nothing to do with my gem. We'll see about that, Hannah Bob replied. When Cannonball comes back, you're gonna race with us. She lifted her hand up for a handshake, to which Steven reciprocated. For the next 5 minutes, they waited for Cannonball to come back. Craig didn't expect Steven to be in the race with the 10 speeds. Granted, it's not for competition, but he's aware that the leader wants more proof of Steven's gem. Soon, War Speed noticed Cannonball biking through the trees, but slowly with another bike that's attached to his. He's almost back, he pointed to everyone's attention. When Steven looked at what Cannonball had from behind, it was a bike, but a tandem bike for 2 people to ride on. As he arrived back at Ramp City, he presented everyone with his bike he borrowed back at home. This is my tandem bike that my dad and I ride on from time to time, he replied. However, I couldn't find a normal bike for one person. Cannonball, even if tandem bikes can do more speed, it is impossible to perform stunts, Handlebar replied, especially lifting a bike that size, Almar pointed. I can still make it work. Steven walked up to the bike while turning to Craig. Craig, can you take the second seat? You want me to ride with you? Craig also walked up to the bike. It'll be our first activity together. When he looked at the 10 speeds again, he whispered into Craig's ear. Let's show them what speed really is. Oh, Craig catched on. Okay. In the starting line, Steven and Craig in a tandem bike are next to 10 speeds with their bikes. JP, Kelsey, and Almar waited next to the finish line to witness the bikers passing them by. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but don't get your hopes up on reaching first place, Handlebar replied. We can still beat you even if you walk together, Warspeed added. I would probably reach last place, cause I know I'm not faster than all of you, Todd added. Don't worry, at the very least, you at least tried, Campbell added. Steven didn't take those as compliments. With them handling the handbars from the front, he can't wait to blow them away once the race begins. However, Craig placed his hand on his head with the effects from before returning. Craig, Campbell looking straight at him. Are you feeling alright? A little bit, but I can still do this, he responded. Meanwhile, a drone appeared from the sky with a camera attached from the bottom. It was farther away from Ramp City to prevent any attention while the camera lens zoomed in on Steven and the others. Ready? Handlebar preparing to pedal. Set. Right at the moment, Steven's gem glows, preparing to use his gem powers. However, Craig's eyes turn pink when he opened them again. Witness pinkness again. Go! Steven turned himself pink as he pedaled. With his super speed, he pedaled past 10 speeds right after leaving the starting line. Craig somehow manages to be part of Steven's powers, but mainly his eyes that changed his perspective. Craig, we're gonna be jumping out of a ramp. Be prepared to do a stunt. Steven and Craig jumped off the first ramp of the track as Steven spread his legs apart right before he landed on the track. Craig couldn't react in time with his eyes being part of the problem. With them reaching another ramp, they jumped off while Steven lifted his hands up. However, he didn't turn to see Craig from behind, who's still holding onto his handlebar at all times. They landed on the ground as they reached the last ramp before the finish line. Craig moved his head to see what's in front of him, but with the pinkness, he kept holding on to his handlebar to keep himself from falling off. Even while using his pedals from behind, Steven's power is what's controlling his speed, despite not being a gem himself. When they jumped on the final ramp, Craig accidentally lifted his body up in the air, while Steven did the same. He didn't jump, however, as if his body was made out of air like blowing a balloon. Oh, he reacted while witnessing his perspective upside down in pink. The drone captures the two lifting themselves higher in the air. They finally landed on the ground as they sat down from the stunt. They went past the finish line while the friends were stunned in disbelief. Holy cow, JP's jaw hung open. From the starting line, Cannonball, Handlebar, and Warspeed didn't move an inch after what they witnessed. They even saw Steven and Quake up in the air with Steven's gems powers come into play. Now do you believe it? Cannonball spoke. Yeah, definitely believe it, Handlebar responded. He definitely beat my record, Warspeed added. As Steven got off his bike, Quake's vision went back to normal the moment he stopped. It really felt like we were speeding like Slide the Ferret, but at pink speed. That's because it was my gem powers, Steven smiled. It really comes into use whenever I'm late to something. As Quake got off of the bike, his friends walked up to them. That was awesome, Kelsey cheered. You two were up in the sky. To tell you the truth, if you were in extreme bike sports, people would have to rely on replaying on what you did 85% of the time, Armor commented. You're right, if there's one thing I have, then bike stunters is more speed. But I would be disqualified if they find out about my powers. As the group laughed at each other from Steven and Quake's bike performance, the drone flew away, capturing everything that happened, but it was far from done. So can I pick the place we should go next? JP wondered. It'll be really fun. No problem, but we should probably let 10 Speeds know about my speed power. Yeah, they're definitely not gonna sleep knowing that the records have been broken forever, Armor commented. But before they headed to the starting line, Todd passed the finish line. I made it in second place, he cheered. I'm no longer in last place. As he went past the group, it took them by surprise. You definitely made one biker happy when it came to hope, Quake smiled. Guaranteed this is the first time one of them will experience last place, Steven finished. But then again, first time for everyone and everything.